Hey guys, Gabe Suarez here. Okay, continuing in the rifle series. Okay, let's talk about reloading the rifle. Okay, now our material, there are two parts to the gun handling material that we teach: proactive and reactive. Proactive involves making sure the gun is loaded and then keeping it loaded during the fight. Okay, so you don't run out. Reactive means if the rifle stops working for whatever reason during the fight, we have methods of bringing it back into action. Okay? Now, we're going to talk about the proactive part here, meaning that you are working to keep the rifle operational, you're working to keep the rifle loaded, you're working to keep the rifle firing. Okay? That's it. Proactive means that you do it when you want to do it, when you choose to do it, not when you all of a sudden have to do it because of circumstances. All right, now the original tactical reload, I will say, was, I don't know if it was invented by him, but it was definitely popularized by him, and the guy's name was Chuck Taylor. I trained with him many, many years, kind of a, like me, a controversial figure in the gun world. And he termed it the tactical reload. Now, Chuck was a very articulate guy, and he used words that the masses probably didn't understand. And he described the tactical reload being used during a lull in the gunfight. Okay. Now, what happens is that the illiterate gun community goes, "A lull? Well, golly, what's a lull?" Well, I have no idea. Let's look it up. And they get in their car, they go over to the library, they pull out a Webster's, they start looking, a lull. All right. And then the Webster's definition of a lull, they go, "Well, that never happens in a gunfight. This tactical reload must be bullshit." Okay, listen. A fight, any sort of a fight, whether it's a fist fight, a knife fight, a gunfight, it explodes. There's high intensity action going on, both parties trying to beat the crap or kill each other. And then what happens is either one succeeds, okay, or they reach a stalemate of sorts, and then both parties back off and figure out what to do next. Okay, that's the way they work. That's human nature. You see it in fist fights, you see it in gunfights, you see it in even in the animal kingdom when animals fight each other. Okay, they don't fight continually for hours and hours and hours and hours. Okay, there's a flash, there's an explosion, and then either one is successful or both back off, and the fight seems to be over. It could be just a pause. It could be a backing off to recharge resources, whatever. This is what Chuck was talking about and called it a lull in the fight. It's a pause. It appears to you at that point in time that the fight is over. Nobody's trying to kill you right now, and you don't have anybody else to kill right now. You may have that situation happen again in the next few seconds. All right, and there you are. You have a weapon, and half of your capacity might be gone. 3/4 of your capacity might be gone because you don't know how many rounds you fired. You may have fired all the rounds in your magazine. You may have fired only a handful. You're not going to be able to tell. What you will be able to tell is you'll be able to go, am I in the top half or am I in the bottom half of my magazine? Okay, with some degree of exactness, but you won't be able to go, well, I fired exactly 12 rounds and there's one round in the chamber. No, sorry, you're not going to be able to do that. Okay, unless you're in a very calm environment on the shooting range. Okay, again, the artificial world of the shooting range, the artificial world of the sporting range. It's not the same as a gunfight. Okay, anybody that tells you that has never been in a gunfight. Okay, you're going to have plenty to think about, plenty to engage your mind without, being able to keep count of how many rounds you fired and so on. All right, you may, like I said, have a general idea. So the point is, when it appears that there's a pause in the action, where the bad guys are maybe maneuvering or they were withdrawing or whatever the case is, you have an opportunity at that point, recharge the weapon to full capacity. Okay, that's where that comes from. Now, let's talk about something here. All right, now, some guys, they act like they're going to roll around in the world wearing their plate carrier. Not only is this heavy, okay, but you're going to go out to You gonna go out to Maestro's restaurant or, you know, a bar to meet a couple of cool chicks wearing that? Probably not. I don't think so. Okay. So how are you going to carry your magazine? You're going to run around with your belt festooned with magazines, bristling with bullets? No, probably not. Okay, so let's be realistic about this. All right, this is how I roll around every day. Okay, I've got my gutter snipe made by the guys down in Foggy Bottom at Swartz International, and I carry one 25 round stick. I don't carry any other magazines with me. Okay, if I lived in a war zone, I probably would, but then I'd also be looking at moving, so I didn't have to go around my day like that. Okay, this is what I wear. This is what I think is sufficient. If there's a circumstance where I expect that there might be a little bit more activity going on, well, you know what? I'll throw a couple extras over here, maybe 3. All right. But you know, that'll be it. And I always have access to rifles wherever I am, so it's not like it's a really big concern. All right. Now, what about rifles? Okay. Where do I keep my extra rifle magazines? All right. Well, I just usually, if I'm having a rifle at hand or whatever, I'll just throw one in what is the SAP pocket here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. The SAP pocket of my cool KUHL, I believe they're spelled, pants. Okay. You know, that seems to work pretty well. These are comfortable and so on. If I'm, you know, wearing something that's different, I'll just stick that magazine in the back pocket. All right, now remember, to have to reload this means that what did you do just before that? Probably did some shooting. Okay, so the default way that I'm going to show you how to reload this rifle is very simple. Okay, it keeps in mind the adrenaline flowing through your system. Okay, and the need for simplicity when that happens. Now, this may not be as high speed, low drag as what the guys, you know, what's that actor that plays the assassin or whatever. I guess he knows more about gunfighting than the rest of us. Okay, but it's not gonna be anything that he uses. But you know what? It'll be something that's beneficial for you. You've never been in a gunfight, or maybe you have, but your adrenaline kicks in and so on, and you get the shaky hands and all that kind of business. Or could be that you're just an older, seasoned warrior, you know, and maybe your manual dexterity isn't what it was at one point. So you know, you want to come up with some method to accomplish this that's going to have a high possibility of success. Okay, so this is the way. So we're up here, we're engaged. Bap, 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 bap. Okay, great. Now, I'm not going to do anything to safety. Safety stays off. Why? Because I'm in the fight. Okay, so it's going to be off. All right. Now I'm engaged here. I'm shooting. Okay, and it looks like the fight is over. I think I'm down in my capacity, but here's my chance to reload. So I'm going to bring this weapon up here like this. Okay? Now, I don't have to have the muzzle pointing straight up in the sky shooting down 747s, but I'm going to have it at a slight angle. Okay? I'm not holding it up with just bicep. I'm trapping it right in here like this. Okay? Kind of like if I was posing for a hero shot for Soldier of Fortune or something like that. But right up in here. Okay? Now, my eyes are downrange. Sometimes you want to look at what you're doing. If the weapon's down here, my eyes are down there, I'm not keeping an eye on the bad guys. Okay, so up in here like this. I reach up, I extract this magazine, okay? I find a place to put it, generally right in my pocket. Okay, I access the fresh magazine. I like to grab it like this, okay? I like to grab it like this. If I was running 20 round magazines, I would grab it differently. I'll show you that in a minute. 20 round magazines, hardly anybody uses those anymore, but we'll address that in a moment. Okay, so just like this. All right, I insert, seat, and tug. This little finger down here helps me to insert deep and then to pull. Okay, and then I take this hand, I run the action, and now I'm back in the fight. Why do I run this action? To make double dog sure that I have one in the chamber. Okay, remember, this first technique is intended to make it as simple for you as possible, so the chances of success are pretty high. Okay, all right. Now, again, you know, to do it, another repetition. Just take that magazine, put it back wherever your initial loading method is going to be from. Okay, so let's look from this side here. All right, right here, bring it up in here. Again, trap it in your rib cage, reach up. Now notice I'm pushing the magazine release button with my trigger finger. Okay, I put that in my pocket. I access the fresh magazine. I look it into the mag well, cycle, and I'm back in the fight. Okay, from the front, let's look at it. Pointing directly at the camera. Oh no! Okay, there we are. Okay, here, magazine out, put it in the pocket, magazine in, put it in the rifle, cycle, back in the fight. Okay? All right, now I'm done, so safety goes on. So that's the default way to reload. Okay?